Is anyone in the mood for a story? Everyone likes a good story. Well, here's a whale of a story. Not only is this story imaginative, it has also been labeled scientific theory so people can believe it without being considered gullible. As a matter of fact, if you believe it, you will be rewarded by those who daily tell the story. Today's liberal educators, politicized scientists, and the progressive media. They will deem you enlightened and educated. Well, are you ready? It's the story of evolution.
The fairy tale story of evolution.
The fairy tale story of evolution. Once upon a time, a long time ago, there appeared these gases and gravitational fields. How they got here, no one knows. They just appeared out of thin air. Well, not exactly out of thin air because there was no air, but out of nothing. I know this sounds difficult to believe, but nevertheless, that's how it was a long time ago. So just try to follow the story. I mean the scientific data. You'll never guess what happened next. After the gases suddenly appeared, something astounding took place. There was a bang so loud that it was heard around the world. Well, not the world, because there was no world, but it was, heard around. It has been since called the Big Bang, and it came complete with explosion and fire.
The Big Bang made the world?
I know this sounds unscientific because there was no rational reason for it, given there was no movement, no oxygen, no heat, or nothing combustible to explode. Nor was there anything directing the suddenly existing elements, nor was there anyone who created or controlled the elements, nor was there any purpose, nor was there any design, nor was there any meaning. It just happened. No smirking, please. It's all part of the scientific proof.
From a scientific perspective, the Big Bang is obviously impossible. Since explosions always lead to the dispersing of energy and the degradation of the thing exploded, it is impossible to claim that an explosion could create any higher order, much less this incredible, awe-inspiring planet. The Holy Bible states the truth. The Word of God, Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. The Word of God states the truth, yet, with their heads harder than iron, evolutionists still teach their absurd fairy tale.
After the Big Bang, there appeared a beautiful earth with air, sun, moon, and ground and sky. There were colors and scents, gravity and wind, water and land. You see, the Big Bang produced all this, the world and in fact the entire universe, just by crazy luck. Of course, it took about 14 billion years to get to where we are today, but don't forget, it takes time for things to evolve. What I mean is, evolution does not happen overnight. And please don't question the story so far because it is, after all, science. And oh, I almost forgot. From the Big Bang, even time itself began.
The Big Bang made time? On the other hand, the Word of God states, "And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." The Word of God states the truth, yet, With their heads harder than iron, evolutionists still teach their absurd fairy tale.
It's really astonishing what a Big Bang and evolution can do. This may be hard to grasp for some uneducated people because the universe is of infinite size and beauty, possessing a great design. The earth, too, is replete with grandeur and magnificence and uniquely made up of infinite elements that all work together to produce life. Just remember, don't get bogged down with grandeur. Repeat to yourself, the world began by chance accident. It was purposeless and meaningless, and it took about 14 billion years. 13.784322155467 billion years to be exact, and bang, I mean Big Bang, the great universe appeared. Never ever forget, great periods of time makes all things possible. One day, after many years of evolution, there appeared a cell in the primordial ooze of the Earth's surface. How, you may ask? It just happened. The ooze said to itself, I think I'll turn into a complex single cell today. Then another 599.897322 million years went by, and the single cell got lonely and said to itself, I think I'll turn into a tadpole or an amoeba. Evolutionists differ, but what's the difference? Either way, this ambitious cell evolved into a tadpole that developed a body and instincts and was alive. And it all happened by meaningless chance. You see, that is how it evolved. This explains how life began.
On the other hand, the Word of God states, And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. The Word of God states the truth, yet, with their heads harder than iron, evolutionists still teach their absurd fairy tale.
Anyway, the tadpole then got the urge to be a frog. The tadpole did not know in itself what a frog was and how it turned into a frog, but it just happened. It evolved by adapting to its environment. During the course of 111.17554221367 million years, the tadpole that became a frog developed bumps on its face. There were 100 bumps that popped up on the frog, but you'll never guess what happened. As random luck would have it, 98 of the bumps remain unsightly bumps, but 2 of the bumps became eyes, complete with an iris, optic nerve, pupil, lens, sclera, retina, and 40 million nerve endings.
Given the complexity of the eye and its multitude of intricate, integrated parts, how can anyone believe that the human eye evolved from a non-eye? How about the brain, which is also necessary for sight? Did the extremely complex brain evolve too? How about light and colors? Did they all come to be randomly from gases and primordial ooze? With their heads harder than iron, evolutionists still teach their absurd fairy tale.
The frog could now see. It was really lucky the way it happened, because not only did the frog have 2 eyes, but light and colors were produced in the earth, so that light was then translated into patterns of nerve impulses to the brain by the eye. The frog was blind, and now it could see. Evolution is awesome, isn't it? The frog, I guess, because it was living in a swamp of ooze, broke out again. This time the 2 bumps appeared on each side of its head, and shazam, the bumps turned into ears.
The complexity of the ear is amazing. The Word of God states, Exodus 4:11, And the Lord said unto him, Moses, Who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb or deaf, or the seen or the blind? Have not I, the Lord? The Word of God